Hey everyone, this is Donna. Today I'm going to go with the physical form. I'm going to show you the actual physical form of the Smelly Telly device. This is the best that I can do given the knowledge that I have. At first I started out with cardboard, foam board, all that type of thing, but and then newspaper and all that, and I decided not to go that route. I decided to go with construction paper. Okay, keep in mind that this doesn't really look exactly like this that I designed on the computer, but it's just something that I decided to come up with that would give me something to help my mind work out where components could be and all that stuff. As for the original design for me, you can see putting the vent hose and stuff right up next to the door didn't really work. I mean, it might work fine for the actual manufacturer of the device if they go with this design, but for me it didn't work too well. And of course, I mean, this device has to be at least this big or bigger in my opinion, unless you want to make the components like really small. But for the size of all the different things that I would put into it, it would have to be at least this size or larger. Please excuse my little door. But anyway, being that I'm not the best sculpturist in the world, but oh well. But you know, this is how I did it for the prototype. And again, the actual manufacturer can design it any way they want to, but this is just the basic, you know, design that I went with. Okay. As you can see on this side, there's my buttons and my monitor and all that type of thing. Okay, so I'll go down the list. I'm going to make more videos that actually show what each button, that demonstrate what each button does. I'll make like a little web page or whatever, and I'll videotape, you know, the actions of each button and everything. But as of right now, okay, we can start with the power button, the on and off power button, which is right here. This cuts the device on and then cuts the device off, okay? And when you first plug it up, you mash the power button and that will cut it on. And then you can move the rack. This is the rack buttons, the rack cursors that move it left, right, up, and down. And of course, this is the rack that I came up with that has the sheets on it, the Smelly Telly sheets, that will be inside. So let's just pretend like this is inside this device and it's moving around. In order to get these size sheets in here with this many smell cells in it, I made everything look like this. But again, the manufacturer can do it however they want to. But basically, the rack is inside. It may be connected up to another surrounding metal rack that will move it back and forth or whatever, but with gears and all that type of thing. Okay, so basically it fits, you know, inside here. You mash the cursor buttons and it will move it left, right, up, and down. It will control all that type of thing. And which the default position will be right here where these vents are. If I can get it turned right. Where these vents are, this is where this will be positioned. Of course, it would be kind of curved to contour inside the device, but it will be right there where the vents are, is where the sheets will be, in order to, when they expel the scent, for them to come out of the vents of the hose and everything. That will be the default position of the rack. So, like I said, you take the cursor buttons and you move it however you want. Of course, to the door, you can move them around to the door in order to put the sheets in the rack right here. Like, you know, being as it's construction paper. I, just pop them in and out and whatever. But, of course, when you put them in the rack, you will put them to where this right here, if I can hold it up to it, this right here is where the microchip or barcode or whatever will be, that will have all the information about the Smelly sheet on it. And this is the front. Let's see if I can. This is the front of the Smelly Telly sheet, and this is the back. And that's what the back will look like. And let me show you what the inside, if I can get a hold of the inside sample, if everything will cooperate with me. This is what the inside part will look like. You've got all these little wires and stuff that's connected up from the microchip to the different cells that will know, like, when a cell is empty, or the information that's within that microfiber cell, that where the scent is. It tells the microchip that such and such scent is in this particular sheet, and whether or not it's full or empty, all that type of thing. Okay, so that's how the middle part looks. So it's kind of like a three-layer thing. You got your top layer, your center part that's got all that, and then your back part, which is got the final either microchip or barcode or whatever, and be the back. And so you make sure when you put it in here that microchip goes against the reader on the inside of the rack to where it will pick up the information about the sheet. So anyway, got that part over with. Okay, so that's all. Okay, anyway, let me go back over the buttons. Okay, all right. So once you put all the sheets in your rack inside the device, then you will go and you will mash the default position button, which is right here, and that will put the rack back into the position over here where the vents are, to where they will be ready to put out the smell. Okay, so then once you do that, then you cut whatever system that you want to use, whether it be your TV, which could be antenna TV, or your satellite cable, whatever. You cut that on, and then it will realize, first of all, you got to mash the incoming communication. You need to mash that button. That way it can start to recognize that, hey, it's fixing to receive information from some type of device or network or whatever. So you mash that, and it will have a voice that will come on and, let you know that it's hooked up, and that, you're either hooked up to antenna or a satellite, cable, whatever, or you're hooked up to some type of network, some type of web network or whatever. Okay, but this will put the power in your hand and allow you to control whether or not you want to receive information coming into your device. So that's basically what that's about. If you don't want to, if you just want to cut it off and you don't want to, you're done with smelling scents and stuff like that, you just mash that, and that will stop the incoming communication and all that. So the control is up to you, and which I have already mentioned that there will be, hopefully, if this system goes into place, that websites will also have an extra precautionary measure on their websites to where you can decide if you want to allow the smell codes to go through their website to your device. If you want that, then fine, you mash it. That way, the smell codes don't automatically just go out. That way, anybody else that's got their computer or whatever hooked up to the device, they don't have to worry about some type of executable code coming through their system or whatever. Even though, if it's set up right, the actual executable code will only talk to this device, because there will be like a special code that this device will only pick up the smell codes. Even though it might go through your computer, might go through your cell phone, might go through whatever, those devices should not read or be able to pick up the actual codes that are going through. It doesn't mean anything to them because they don't have that code or whatever that says this is the device that needs to be communicated with. Okay. All right. Having said that, okay, also you can, once you got everything set up, well, first of all, let me go over here too. Okay, once you do that, if you're hooking up to your TV or whatever, then all you got to do is just, the cents will start coming in. You'll get since you've mashed this, you will get the cents coming in through the TV networks or whatever. And it will automatically go to, the codes will come through and the device will start working, and you'll start getting the smells as soon as the codes come through and everything, okay? All right, but also you can test it. You can mash the test button, and it will randomly go, your squirt device will automatically go to, or randomly go to some cell in your device and spray on it and send out a smell so that you can just test it to see if the device is working, okay? I know I'm rambling, and I'm sorry. I hope I'm trying not to take up too much time with this, but anyway. Okay, then, but if you're hooked up to a network, and also it has a Bluetooth button to where if you want to use Bluetooth, you can do that. Whether you're using Bluetooth or an internet connection of some sort for this device, network, whatever, you will go to your monitor, and then you will have your see if I can get it on there. You will have your cursors over here to the side. You will have your cursors that will bring things, like it will allow you to pick your choices, like, as far as like your networks and stuff. It will show up, like if it's on the TV or whatever, then it will show up over here within the other fields to let you know that, it's going to be connected up to your TV or some other type of device where you don't really have to do anything. But if it's connected up to a network, then it will have that information over here. And then all you got to do is, with your buttons over here, is select whichever one you're going to do, and then you have like your change button, which will work with your cursors to pick out the different categories of what you're choosing as far as your network, and it will allow you to do that. And then also you got your ABCs, like your lowercase alphabet, your capital letters, your numbers, and then your symbols. So this and this will all help you to put your code in, like whatever your network code is, in order to use, to use your network or whatever to actually connect up to the internet. That's how you will do that. And you'll have your screen right here, and it will have your code. You'll get all that information in there, and then you will press the enter button right here. You will mash that, and that will send it through, and then it will say, you'll hear like something say thank you or whatever to let you know that it was successful. If it's not successful, then you will hear a message letting you know that you need to try again. And if you need to cancel anything, delete anything or whatever, you've got your little cancel button right here, and you can move your cursors forward or backwards and then hit that and cancel whatever you want to cancel on your screen. Okay, so you do all that and get connected up. And like I said, then, if you're on a network and you want to test it, you do that, and it will do the same thing that it will do if you're on a TV. It will randomly pick a cell and squirt it and send out a smell, whatever. Okay? And then, of course, everything's set up, and then you will start receiving the executable codes as soon as you go to a website, a participating website, and you read their agreement and you accept their terms and cut it on through that website. and hopefully it will save that. It will allow you to save that setting on your website. Just say like YouTube, for instance. You know how it has the autoplay, whether you want to autoplay or not or whatever, and you can mash your little lever to decide that or whatever. Well, and it will remember whatever you picked for the next time that you go to that website. Well, hopefully it will be the same way with this. Whatever you choose, then it will save it unless you choose to unclick it and, you know, cut your device off or whatever, okay? So that's basically how it works, and I apologize for my rough image of this, but this is just what I wanted to do as far as a prototype. And of course I've got the top coming off of it, and kind of look inside or whatever, as well as I made the bottom come out of it. And in the bottom I've decided, which I didn't actually make the door for this, but I think it would be a good idea for the device to have some type of drip tray, to where the when the device is the cells are squirted with liquid steam, when it will still, there will be condensation that will drip down, and naturally you want like some type of drip tray inside the device, which hopefully there will be like a little door on the device, which I didn't include in this prototype, but there could be like a door that you can slide this in and out your drip tray and empty it or what, and then, you know, rinse it out and then put it back in there, and that will collect the condensation coming off of your Smelly Telly rack or whatever. Okay, and then of course underneath that will be inside there, which I use this kind of like it'll be like a tank inside here that will have water. Okay, and there should be like a spout coming out from the side of your device that will allow you to pour water into your tank in the bottom of this, and up under the tank will be inside the wall will be a heating element that will heat up the water to where it will when it's squirted out of your straw-like device, you know, it would be hot steam coming out. Okay, and this is how it's going to be, how it would work. Okay, alright, let me just say, first of all, you will have your some type of motherboard inside, and it will be protected behind a wall to keep liquid off of it and all that, okay? And it will be connected up to different things. Let me go ahead and just say this. It will be connected up to, you'll have your hard drive, your random memory, you will have your speakers, your different speakers, your different gears and wires and all that type of stuff. You will have that inside this device. And also you will have your sprayer and an arm connected to it. And of course the straw part of the sprayer will be sitting down in the tank, and it will move up and down thanks to the help of the arm that's connected to your motherboard and all that. And then there will also be like a little sprayer thing that will mash, at least to using my design. Now again, like I said, this design can go any way, and the you know, the manufacturers can make it however they want to, but using my system, there will be like this device that will push up and down on the sprayer that will mash it to, there will be like a spring inside that will bring it up and down and mash this up and down, and it will shoot out the steam into the cells. So all this will be connected up, like I said, to your motherboard, and then you will have the straw that goes down into the tank, which I briefly mentioned this in another video. If you know, if anyone wants to watch that video, that gave like an animation of how it would work and everything. So, but anyway, that's the basis of that. Let's see. And so you've got all that. You think of what I might be missing. And then, of course, you know, let me see if I can find that paper. The device, if you're going to get information coming in off like an antenna type situation, I don't know exactly how it would work or how the system, like, I don't know if it could write off your TV's antenna receiving system, or if it would have to have its own connected into the motherboard. Let me find this. Maybe something sort of like this that's connected in the motherboard, some type of receiver, antenna receiver within the device itself that could receive the incoming antenna information and process it like any kind of codes or anything coming through the antenna network. Now, some people may say, what? But I have read, now correct me if I'm wrong, and I know the electronics people out there would know the truth of whether or not codes, executable codes can come in through antenna networks. I believe that it can. I've read that it can. So, you know, in my opinion, I think that this device would work just fine with antenna TV, okay? As long as the framework is set up through the TV networks and everything, and they do their part by sending out the codes, then I believe this device can receive this information through antenna, cable, whatever. We all know that cable boxes and satellite boxes, excuse me, can receive information from the cable companies, from networks or whatever, because how else can you refresh your box? If you call up the cable company and say, hey, can you refresh my box, or can you fix my box? You know, they can go on their network and boom, all of a sudden your box is refreshed. So we know communications can go that way. And like now people have all kinds of electronic devices that are connected up through network systems to where all the information is transferred back and forth. So we all know that's possible. The only questionable thing with this would be the antenna situation. Being as I'm not an electronics person, I don't know 100% for sure, but I have read that it is possible, and I believe that it is possible, and I'm sure the electronics people out there, they know for sure, and they'll know what to do as far as that's concerned, whether or not they want to include that type of thing or not. For the people out there that just have antenna TV that aren't connected up to any type of you know, satellite cable, any type of network or anything like that, they're just using antenna TV. You know, I think it would be a good idea to include them in this whole thing, because those people buy products too, and they might want, you know, a fun, interesting air freshener like device too, you know. So I want to include them in this process as well, if it's possible, okay? So anyway, but like I said, this is the design that I started out, and it may still can be designed that way, but I do believe that in order for it to be this size and for the sheets to be this size, this is going to have to be, you know, bigger. It was going to have to be at least this big or bigger in order for it to work properly. Now, if they want to resize everything, make all this stuff smaller, then fine. You know, you might can go with something maybe this size, but if you want it this, you know, things this size or larger, you're definitely going to have to make the device larger, okay? So, but anyway, all right. So we've got the look of that. Also, this is the initial idea that I came up with for the look of maybe one of the boxes, just as an example. And then the sheets. Of course, I've redesigned the sheets to include more cells for the smell or whatever. There'll be more rows and everything. But this is the beginning, and then of course, you know, you got your box, and it tells what kind of smells and all that stuff that's in the box. The different sheets, it'll tell you how many sheets you've got in the box and what all's on the sheets as far as the smells. And then of course, this is a blowed up image of the incoming communication button that's going to be on the device, hopefully. If the manufacturers decide to use the buttons that I've created, then this would be one of the buttons. And of course, they can do what they want to. You know, this is just for me, for my process, in order for me to help me think about how everything's going to work and all that. Okay. Also, like I have said in my other videos, you know, I've had the idea for maybe the wax burner type of device where you lay the sheets in flat and you'll have like a ceramic heating elements up under each sheet, or you know, that takes care of each cell of that sheet. It will heat up, like when the codes come in to the device, it will heat up that cell, and like I said, there may be like a delayed effect as far as that's concerned, but still, I mean, you will get the smell. It might take it like, you know, a minute or two or whatever for you to actually smell it, but of course it will probably linger in the air a little bit longer maybe, and you know, it's just as good as the other. It's just going to be a little bit delayed, but to me that wouldn't be a problem, you know. And also, you know, it can have not only wax, but it can have some types of liquid and a gel or whatever, you know, the manufacturer wants to create for that device, then there you go. Just like any of the other wax warmers or air freshener devices out there. And also, I came up with an idea. See these little bitty bottles right here? Okay, these little bottles can be put into like a little cartridge that will have a microchip at the end of it. Okay, think of in the terms of like a printer device, except these will be like little, you know, little bottles of scented liquid, concentrated scents within little bitty plastic bottles that have springs on the top of them. See these little springs I've designed? Right up here. They will have a spring on the top of them to where when you know, they'll be in a cartridge, and there will be, I'm thinking maybe 6 rows by 6 rows as far as the cartridge goes. 6 rows of these little bottles by 6 rows inside a cartridge. And you can have so many cartridges, maybe, I don't know, 4 to 5 cartridges within your device. And I designed the device to look like this, kind of, to put these in. But like I said, that's, you know, whatever the manufacturer wants to create. But that's just what I did for this. Okay, but anyway, you put the cartridge in here, and then you put the top on it. Okay, and then up under these little bottles is going to be like a lever. Each bottle will have a lever that will push up. Once the code gets sent through, this lever will push up on that bottle, that particular bottle, and at the top of the bottle will be a spring, and then there will be like a sprayer to where it will, when it's pushed up and that spring is mashed, it will, there will be like a straw inside, and it will push that scent up out of that bottle into the air, and there will be like vents. So like the top of this, there will be like vents up here, the top of the device. That smell will come out through those vents. So that could be another way. And this would not have to be heated. Like it would just be like any type of sprayer or whatever. And it would just, you know, spray it out of each one of these little bottles. Little tiny little bottles. I think that would be neat. And of course, you know, it would be shooting straight up, you know. So, you know, that's just another design, another idea that I came up with for this device. So there's different options to choose from for both the manufacturer as well as the consumer. So whatever, you know, the manufacturer wants to do and whatever the consumer wants is what will happen. And this is blowed up images of the hard drive, and then the memory, the processor. You have to have a processor in it, of course, a good working processor. And then this is the screen, the blowed up image of what the screen would look like, all the different options and everything on it, and the typing area and all that. Okay, as for the hard drive and memory, you know, you want it to be good. You want a hard drive that will hold quite a bit of information. Being as I'm not no electronics person, I'm not no expert, but I'm assuming that you would at least want an 8 gigabyte hard drive or maybe a little higher. Because there's probably going to be, naturally you'll have your operating system that you want to store in your hard drive, but there may be other things that you will need at least that size of a hard drive to use. Just like your cell phone, you've got your cell phone that you use, and most of them, the cheaper end ones that you buy, they at least come with an 8 gigabyte hard drive. So, I don't think it would hurt to just have a default 8 gigabyte. Even though you may not actually be saving anything onto your hard drive, there still may be situations where things could get a little bulky as for your operating system and all that type of thing. So, I think you would want a little bit of room there. So I would, just go with that. If that's what's out on the market, these 8 gigabyte, small hard drives that go in devices, the manufacturer probably would be good just to get those and use those. Okay. As for the memory, naturally you would want a good processing memory. I would say at least 256, megabytes or whatever, or higher, because you want something that's going to be able to process those codes coming in. So whatever the default thing is for your average cheap cell phone, you would at least want that type of random memory for this device to where it can process those incoming codes and deal with the operating system, what's going on with that, and be able to handle it. So at least, like I said, at least, the 256 still or higher. Some people may be like, that's too low or whatever. Everybody's working on, the 1 gigahertz or whatever the heck it's called nowadays. So, they may go with that. I don't know. But I'm just thinking of whatever works best as far as money-wise and as far as functionality of the device. You want to make everything as cheap as possible. Let's be real. But also you want to give people at least a good quality product. Give them their money's worth with the device. So, you want to make it pretty good, and also I want sensors put on the ones that have heating elements in them, any type of heating, to where if the device gets knocked over or anything like that, it kicks off, like immediately kicks off. That way it will be protection for the consumer, to where hopefully their house won't catch on fire or anything like that. So definitely I would want there to be a protective precaution involved in this. And of course in my animation, this is what everything kind of looked like. You had your tank, and then you have your straw coming up that's connected to your spraying device, and then there's the arm coming off of the motherboard that's back behind a protective wall. And, there's your sheet and all that. And this is just, just your basic thing. And then, of course, over here is your spout where you would pour in the water. Whoops, let me get over here. Pour in your water and all that type of thing. So this is just a crude animation type thing. So, but hopefully the manufacturers will get at least the general idea of what I'm talking about with this video. Hopefully I have made it somewhat clear. And like I said, I'm going to do a few more videos that deal with the buttons, animations about the buttons and demonstrations about it, to give an even better understanding of that, and also, about functionality and all that type of thing. So, bear with me. I'm gonna try to do a little bit more before I finally decide that I'm moving on to another project or whatever. But I just want to get everything as clear as possible, just in case a manufacturer does decide to go with my idea and everything, to where this will help them, so. But anyway, I hope everyone is doing well, so bye for now.